Bound by Fate and Blood by Jenna O'Malley. The Merna Annals, Book 1.
Chapter 36. Ian. At last we truly have a reason to celebrate, Bovary cheered as the four newly dubbed siblings in arms headed for the masquerade. It was to be held in the grand hall and connecting gardens surrounding Sancta Terra's subterranean world. After days of preparation and nights of cooking, the party did not hesitate to start when word came from the Gothrana to serve drinks. Ian rubbed the bandage round his elbow. Shimon had taken a sample from their joints through bloodletting, and, as tradition stated, they drank a portion of the combined mixture together. As with Neftiri, Ian sensed a deeper bond with his siblings, though it was much more faint. Their thoughts were not as loud as hers, and he could feel their emotions spike harder from a distance than hers too. Bovary and Hotomy were excited about the evening's events. Frey, on the other hand, had a dark cloud over his head. Ian nudged the French male's elbow. Wine? What? Frey stepped outside of his thoughts, joining reality. I apologize. Judging by such an answer, yes, you do need wine. Ian sighed when Frey's laughter died too soon. Noticing Bovary and Hotomy paused for them where Murukawa waited at the entrance to the room, Ian waved them on. The group shared a glance before looking at Frey, and then Ian. Good luck making him talk, Bovary offered before following Murukawa inside the grand hall. We've tried all day, Hotomy said. Ian turned to Frey. Mon ami, what bothers you? Strange dreams as of late. Very strange. Frey massaged the bridge of his nose as if a weight refused to leave his mind. The closer we approached tonight's masquerade, the more the dreams appeared. What kind of dreams? They are more like nightmares. Ian rubbed Frey's shoulders. Have you not slept since we returned? When I can manage. Have you thought of visiting Lee or Shifera? Frustration left Frey's chest in a smelted iron aroma Ian would rather forget. This conversation goes nowhere. We should go inside before the elders arrive. Their votes on our new leader will not take long. Why not talk to Lee during our wait then? I refuse. Why not speak to the one you have wanted to see since we left for battle? Ian leveled harshly under his brother's guarded gaze. Frey, you need to tell her how you feel. We are bloodbound, but we are not discussing each other's relationships, mon ami. Frey pressed past Ian, acting as a bridge into the grand hall and their group. The Scotsman gave Bovary and Murukawa a shake of his head and accepted a goblet of wine. Shifera said the masquerade lasts far into the day. Ian took a sip and returned the embrace Hotomy initiated. The previous one lasted into the following day after that, Murukawa laughed. And Unai Ankh lasts longer? Ian asked. Unai Ankh is where we truly celebrate. This is a warm-up exercise. Bovary raised his glass. Tonight, my friends, we toast our victory and our new bond, which is just as sweet. Frey continued, and we drink to our beloveds. Murukawa! Lee poked her head out of the kitchen and smiled when the door smacked Frey's backside. Oh, sorry, Frey. Murukawa, may we borrow you? The fire is being temperamental again. The samurai muttered curses in his native Japanese, but he disappeared into the kitchen. Lee lingered, trying to catch a certain mahogany gaze from where Ian watched them interact and ignore each other at the same time. Frey raised his glass high to touch Bovary's. As I was saying, to our beloved Shifera and the Alliance. Two more glasses clinked with the pair. To Shifera, Neftiri, and the Alliance. Lee closed the door with a frown. Cheering, the group finished their glasses and followed Frey's lead in sending the delicate goblet smashing to the floor as ritual and tradition required. Ian jumped, not expecting every onlooker to join in on the smashing fun. Ripples of laughter resonated in the hall, and more cheers echoed with calls for full pints and never-ending goblets. Malice kept her hands over her mouth to emphasize her yell, "Blessed be our elders, may they reign eternal!" Celebratory cries dissolved into whispers. Ian tried to see over the crowd forming by the door. A sweeping gust of music filled their ears the moment Rochelle stepped into the hall with Neftiri on her arm. The brilliant white dress contrasted perfectly with her skin. Ian forgot anybody but Neftiri existed. He realized the tiara nestled against her onyx hair meant she was no longer just their Shifera. She was their queen. The rightful Uran Shifera, glorious and restored to her throne, earned by blood and maintained through merit. Ian remembered Neftiri's words from their first days and nights together. I am not yet wed. Her words from that night, they cut him deep, long and hard. She knew from the beginning her time as an unwed female drew short. She would be required by ritual and tradition to find Harai Sos, her Yara Kufim, the perfect match she was fated to mate. Ian detested the taste of bile rising in his throat at the thought of a male from any race, Merna or mortal, laying a hand on her. The Baron in him stayed in place to keep his senses in check. Though a blood-bound sunwalker, he was still untrusted by some. Fanfare music and rampant ovations broke over the crowds, but Rochelle's raised hand called them to silence. Thank you all for our century of progression. I graciously accept your nomination for my successor. Long live our Uranshifera! Malice whooped and cheered the loudest. Neftiri couldn't contain the gratitude and joy behind her usual mask as the room joined in. And long live my people! The refrain signaled further cheering, and the party took off into blissful merriment all the more. Trays of food flooded from the kitchen, and crewmates from the strumpet topped off everybody's drink. Ian failed to realize his stare leered through the crowd as if the entire world still did not exist between him and his queen. Frey's elbow jostled Ian's ribcage. Mon ami, what makes you hesitate? Do not fool yourself. Ian glared daggers in return. When the Scots searched for their new head elder in the crowd, she was gone. Stop treading water, Harume clarified, filling her friend's hand with tune wine goblets. Or staring and move. Ian tried to give the glasses back. A gentleman knows when he is outmatched, and a warrior knows when to accept a challenge. Bovary rammed his hip harshly into Ian's side. Snickering, all three of his siblings disappeared into shadow and the crowd as he toppled over. Colliding with the smaller frame, Ian reacted without needing potions to steady himself and the very female he desired. Thankfully, not a drop of red wine splashed onto her sheer gown, the one he chose for her. After exchanging awkward pleasantries, he offered Neftiri one of the goblets. She beamed. Thank you. My pleasure, Uranshifera. Ian, adding a tiara to my outfit does not require you to be so formal. She accepted the elbow he extended to her. After tonight, you matter above all, and I will not besmirch someone's shoes unless it means protecting you. His voice was a matter of fact. As she led them away from the festivities and into the subterranean gardens where Shell tended, the only shoes you besmirch are my own by denying me my name from your lips. You do not play fair. And here I thought males enjoyed the company of a coy female. She inhaled the familiar scent of lilies and roses. He guided her toward the steps in a maze of fragrances awaiting them. I assumed we were past such formalities, he retorted, almost mocking her. He attempted to embrace her, though, and she evaded his touch and broke away to walk down the labyrinth's path. Instead of following, he stopped to finish his wine and set down the glass. What bothers you, Tiri? Members of the lusty strumpet joined the quartet of voices in the background, providing more noise to cover their conversation. She shook her head, refusing to look at him. When he stepped closer, she managed a broken whisper. Please no, I just need a moment. Her glass joined its twin. He wished he brought his cloak, yet she accepted his warmth despite her pleas otherwise. You look beautiful, my queen. She fought tears. I never wanted this. The grand hall wakened into a sensual serenade sung in four-part harmony of angelic and raucous voices. He murmured against her ear, You deserve it. You are so strong, and not just when dealing with the council. You are brave, and you fight hard. While you are stubborn, I appreciate how determined and steadfast you are. Stop talking, please. Her face buried into his chest. Instead of permitting her to collapse into him, he swept her into his arms, embracing her in a perfect dancing pose. He led her into the music's demand to box step across the pathway until they reached a hidden alcove. He would afford her the cover to release her emotions and process them with dignity. The unintended effect of waltzing into a standstill was that he held her rather tightly. In comforting silence, she listened to the beat of his heart, and he to hers, and it inspired more composure between them. Thank you, though his lips took her mouth in reply. A floral aroma filled their lungs, and with an intoxicating measure it intensified their dizziness. Eager hands tangled over his coat, searching for buttons and pushing back fabric. He stopped by intertwining their grasp and pushing away. We cannot. Ian, no. You do not understand. I am the crux of your destruction if the hunters come looking for us, and you will find your king. Stop being willfully ignorant. Why do you think we dream of each other the way we do? What do you mean? He asked. Her gaze traveled over his face. I know why your nose checked the wood's strength. Ian, unlike Master Dreamweavers, I share dreamscapes with either my blooded family, my turnlings, or my future mate. At least until I can train more. You have my blood in your veins, he argued. But you must have had mine in yours to make the bridge between us complete. Which is why it must be family, a turnling, or one other. She stared at her hands, where they laid splayed against his chest. I've never felt this way about someone. I am a slayer's son. I can offer you myself. No money, not protection of a human title, nothing like that. I would never ask for more than the male I have standing before me. She leaned up on her toes, and he growled, taking her mouth in another kiss. A blast of light filled the grand hall, and doors exploded open. Hunters' screams blended with zinging shots and raining arrows. The quartet slipped into sirens, crying their battle arias. Ian cursed. The guild! How? Neftiri asked. His mouth lay lovingly over hers again, and he nipped her lower lip. Stay here. I mean it.